allow maybe 3 or 4 questions because we only have an hour. Okay, we're going to allow 3 or 4 questions from the floor. And I want to say to all of our candidates, we're going to be respectful. We're not going to overtalk each other. We're not going to interrupt each other. Because if you do, I will stop you. Fair enough? Fair enough. Okay, I'm not going to introduce our candidates. I'm going to let them each introduce themselves. And we're going to go in alphabetical order for lack of a better way. Okay? Our first person is Leroy Ray Montana Cruz. Everybody has 2 minutes. You can stay where you are, you can stay in, but you have 2 minutes.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Let me take this mask off. I feel safe around y'all. My name is Leroy Ray Montana Cruz. As many know, I'm a civil rights activist and community activist, and been an activist in this community for the last 20 years. I've led every civil rights activist protest here in the city for the last 20 years with great conduct, great ambition, and great passion. I started an organization called Reach One, Teach One, which we put in the Richmond County Board of Education system for the last 15 years, where we mentor children, we help children graduate, we help them get their caps and gowns. I also have an organization, which is one of the biggest grassroots organizations here in Augusta, Georgia, which is CSRA Street Justice Council. We do search and rescue. I do a lot of search and rescue. Within the last 5 years, I helped find about 8 bodies out there of our children and our people that has been missing. When anybody calls, when there's a voice that need to be heard, they call Ray Montana. When there's somebody to fight, they call Ray Montana. I be in them courtrooms, the judges know me very well. The judges make the DA, the solicitors, and everybody give me a standing ovation because I'm a product of the streets. I served 10 years and I came back to clean up what brothers like me messed up. My name is Leroy Ray Montana Cruz, and I want to be your next commissioner for District 2.
Our next candidate is Charles Cummings.
Thank you, Madam Chairman, and hello to everyone in attendance today. My name is Charles Cummings. I'm a former Army military intelligence captain. I have over 25 years of business experience. I've been in the community, I've been through the community, I've been involved with different activities over the years. 3 of the things that I'm primarily concerned about is transit. I'm concerned about food deserts. I'm concerned about education. If we get our transit flowing as it should, then we can help a lot of disabled, a lot of disadvantaged, and a lot of young and old. This is the cyber city, but our transit does not lend itself to that impression. With transit, a lot of things can happen. So we need to improve our transit. We gotta make sure we can create grocery stores. We gotta find a way to augment, and with my experience, I can help a person start a business and bring it all the way up. Our young people, we are continuously confused about how we want to react and deal with them, but at the end of the day, they're confused, and they're hungry, and they're lost. So we have to find them, we gotta feed them, we gotta educate them. I'm Charles Cummings, thank you.
Our next candidate is Cleveland Garrison.
Good afternoon, thank you very much. I'm Cleveland Garrison. I have been in Augusta now about 40 years. 38 of those years been in District 2. I'm the founder and operator of A1I Works, which has been in operation for about 35 years here in Augusta, Georgia. I live in a district that's been crying. I've been crying, we all are crying, but I'm just so grateful to God that allowed me to be in this position tonight because God has blessed me and He has given me the opportunity to be able to serve as bishop over the state of Georgia for Miracles of Christ Ministry. And I think that's a great opportunity. But when it comes down to District 2, I have a great compassion for District 2. I hurt when they hurt, and we've been hurting a long time. So by being the next commissioner, I think it'll be a great privilege for you as well as for me.
Thank you. Before I move on to number 4, let me say this. For those of you who want to ask questions, please formulate your question, write it down, so we won't spend a lot of time wrestling with the question, okay? And we can get you an answer. So our next candidate is Mr. Ralph Gunter Senior.
Good evening, everyone. I want to thank the Purpose of the Neighborhood Association for having me here this evening. I'd like to say to everyone, I'm a long-time resident of District 2, grew up in District 2, played in District 2, learned how to swim in District 2 at Jones Pool. I recently retired from the Augusta Fire Department as a sergeant for 30 years. I went through the ranks from firefighter to sergeant. Eventually went to school for paramedic. I passed my paramedic, have my paramedic license right now. I want to instill that I want to continue to be a public servant. After leaving the fire department by being your next commissioner in District 2 and carry over my skills from the fire department to District 2. Fire department responds to numerous calls, fire, EMS, and I want to bring all this into District 2 as your next commissioner. When you call 911, who you get first? Fire department gonna always be there first. Before the ambulance, before the police, depends what type of call it is. We respond. And that's how I want to be when I'm your next commissioner. When you call me, I will respond, regardless. You call me on the phone, I will respond. Email, whatever, what have you. But as your next District 2 commissioner, I will be transparent. I will not be hiding anything. I will be easily approachable. And any question that you might call me or ask, I'll be there to answer. And as your next District 2 commissioner, that is a promise. I will do all these things. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Lambert. Our next candidate is Dr. Clancy.
Good evening. Hi, I'm Von Pouncey. And I think that we find ourselves in a really good position right now in District 2. You all have 6 of us that are putting ourselves out here, telling you about our plans and our visions and what we can do to make not just this district, but this county better. So you have this great option of choice. And like Ms. Gordon said, all of us are advocating for change, but like she said, it's not just saying you want change, it's out where you're going to make change happen. What I'm asking you to do is take a look at all 6 of us and see what we already have done to create change so that you will know what we can do to create change. Let me tell you a little bit about myself. Currently, I am a high school teacher at Westside. But when I wasn't at Westside teaching high school, I was at Josie teaching high school. And when I wasn't at Josie teaching high school, I was at a college, Aiken Tech, Augusta Tech, Payne College, as a professor. And I tell you that to let you know that I've always lived a life that was about service. I've always had a job that was about helping other people. So when I wasn't being an educator, I was actually helping people find jobs, understanding how important it is to self-esteem and to us as a people when we have the ability to take care of our families. Not only have I been helping people find jobs or educating people, but I've also started a nonprofit for foster children. Now, I did that because as someone that grew up in the system, I decided that because God delivered me to a better place in my life, that I wanted to reach back and help others. The main thing I want you to know about me is I just don't believe in business development or economic development because all of those things really do matter. I believe in people development. And I believe in that because every day when I go into my classroom and I see 16-year-olds and 17-year-olds and 18-year-olds, I understand where the deficits are for our children as they're graduating. So my plans for infrastructure or develop our community will always not just take care of you as the current voter, but it's going to take care of the children here in your house because I understand that there's no time left for that. So happy to be with you tonight and with my brother colleagues as well. Thank you so much. Hello everyone, good evening. I am Stacy Fuller. So, to tell you a little bit about who I am,
and I have been a member of that church since I was 18 years old. So I'm 43 now. To say I know District 2, I think after 20-some years, I definitely know District 2. When I decided to run for commissioner, I honestly and truthfully, I had to toil with it. Because my worry and my fear was I'm not going to do a great job. Everything I do, I have to do a great job. I looked and I said, okay, with this seat of being commissioner, what am I going to be able to do? And if you look at the things I said it so many times, I wanted to be the pen behind the paper. I wanted to be able to put policies and procedures in place to help my constituents. As I ride up and down the streets, my son, my baby boy, the youngest of 8, he goes to Heritage Academy. That was a decision that I made because I wanted him to go to a Christian-based school. All my other children did graduate from Richmond County Schools, and I think our curriculum is amazing, which is why I moved to Richmond County. So let me put that out there. They're all doing very well, and I'm so very proud of them. But when I drop him off in the morning, I ride up and down the streets. And on Turpin Street, I've met several individuals. When they tell me, Stacy, what can you do about the cars speeding up and down our street? They're scared. And it's elderly people, and it's children outside playing. What can you put in place? What are some things that you can do? When I go to Nutritious Alternatives, where Tim Thomas is the owner rather, I got to talk to people that ask me about transportation and that public transportation and, what can be done about those things. Why am I telling you this? I'm telling you this because it's not just what I see needs to be done, but what the people want. My name is Stacy Pulliam, and I want to be a servant, and I need you to be my heroes. I need you to put me in office so that I can help you. Any questions from the floor at this time? I have a burning question. Has everybody started this debate over here? Hello, everybody. It's glad to see you, and I'm glad to be here. It's nothing matter to me. I love you here. Those things I know like that for me. And I look back in this area because I want to see change. I want to see better good. And we, for someone that wants to change, because if we put that as everything, then we don't. And I'm watching that go down the drain every day. But I'm also seeing that the government is not doing their part and working with that. I see them really backing that. When they give it to those that kind of blacklisted, they're living outside, and they're coming in the rooms. And what we're getting is not people in this area that grew up down here that should be in here. They're going back to them and still own it. And I think there's something that we need to look at. We got a school over there that's good things. That good things that we got school. I'm getting it open. And Harlem, we live in Harlem, we get all the things that's cool over there, and then it goes down. That's the system. But then they're putting schools out of this area and taking them to schools out south and at north. I mean, Richmond Academy and better. So these things need to be looked at. They need to be looked at. THNA is everything is out there when you can research it, right? I wish it was like that when I was younger, when I was my kid's age, because I had to go to the library and learn to do the vestibule system. I'm sure a lot of us can relate to that. But now everything is there. And the fact that the commission meetings are online, even if you're at home, you can actually watch those. So I want to get that point out there. But in addition to that, there's revitalization that's going on. So all the way up to, as you see, new houses that are starting to be built. And we're looking at market rate homes as well as workforce housing. That's very important because you actually get money that is out there and it can be used towards the purchase of your home. So there are programs available. It's just being able to be connected to that. 30 seconds, great. So the last thing I want to say is this. There's so many programs out there that are available not only for our government, but also nonprofits. When our parks were in danger and I saw that, I literally went and started looking up what's available, what money's out there, what money's out there. I'm saying that because you can get out there and you can, my time is up, but you can research how to actually look up grants and funding that nonprofits can apply for. Sources out there for us as it relates to grants and things that we can do to deal with blight. To me, blight is a symptom of a problem. And I am more of an immediate action kind of person. So as someone that's been a constituent of a Western Richmond County for many years, I want to see some more immediate things put into place. So for me, day one, I want to make sure that when you ask me what is it that I can do for you, that I have that meeting again with you all, and I make sure that your voices are what I present, and that we don't just walk away with, here's what we can do. I want more of a, here's what we will do. As it relates to what you were talking about with our school systems and college and things of that nature, I've never agreed with the division between the commission and the school board. I know they're separate pots of monies, but we are all a community and we must work together. So what I first think we need to do is get more collaboration in place between the commission and the school board, which is one of the reasons I'm running, because someone that's been within that system for many years, I actually know some of the ways to work through all of that. So again, I'm more of an immediate action kind of person as it relates to the food desert, as it relates to blight, and it relates to the things that are going on in your neighborhood. I'm going to come in front of you, again, not just when I'm running, hear your voices and represent everything that you say that you want me to do, and then do something immediately to get that done.
Thank you, Dr. Thompson. Anyone else would like to respond? Okay, Mr. Duncan and then Mr. Cummings.
That's still good. That is in place that black properties and homeowners should be held responsible for some of the costs of this project. So you can save taxpayers money, taxpayers money. And with that being done, I think it will work real well for the taxpayers of Richmond County. Thank you.
If I heard your question correctly, you wanted to know why were people
Then moved out to South Augusta, out there by Fort Gordon Gate 5, and I think the medical center bought Gibbert Lambert? They bought that property and put a lot of infrastructure there. Go across RA Dent, right across that railroad track on Riceburg Road, that building there, the cheapest apartment in there is $1,000 a month. That's the cheapest one. And whoever lived there before probably paid $300 or $400 a month. So in effect, what it is gentrification. They're basically causing it to be too expensive for certain economic families to live in an environment. And so if we're going to affect gentrification, then we have to get in front of that effort. As far as giving out land, we have to start to educate our young people. Like Ms. Ponce said, you know, our young crowd, our young folks are out there, but we got to put that knowledge in their mind and then put them in a position with the right mindset to not let this happen without our okay.
Mr. Cruz?
Well, he said, what would I do? It was a question asked to us in another forum. Said, if we gave y'all $1 million for each district, what would you do with that $1 million? I live in this district. I actually stay on Turpin Street. I'm real quiet because I'm a civil rights activist on this end. And I don't want to endanger nobody because my life has been threatened because of the work that I do in the community. But if they gave me $1 million, I would like to see palm trees coming down Grand Boulevard, sidewalks redone. I would like to see the landscape go let's at least do about 2 or 3 feet and everybody grass going down the side. I would like to take that money and reconstruct the shelters over the buses. I like to put sidewalks down all the road. I would like to, all the way down all the road down Glendale side. There's no sidewalks. I walk 45 minutes to my ride to work every day from Turpin Street. So these are some of the things that I would like to see done within our district. And I will apply that pressure.
Mr. Garrison?
What they say was pretty good. But what we need to do in District 2 is educate our people so they will be qualified to receive certain grants. But our education, knowing how to receive that money, is not going to do us any good. But I believe that what we need to do at this point is to educate our people. And then it's good to have housing. I mean, they build apartments all over Augusta. But the problem is that we need to have an income so we can afford these houses. So we need to build up we need to take it and build our infrastructure, get some kind of program developed so we can bring in new benefits so our people can receive a certain amount of money so they can receive and pay for these new houses they're building. So what we need, instead of moving people out, we need to educate our people, and we need to come together, work together, organize ourselves, because look, District 2 has not been organized to the point where we can receive certain grants from certain people. So in order for that to happen, we need a commission that when you call on him, they can respond and not respond, but respond. I've been dealing with this situation for almost a good 14 years.
Thank you, Mr. Garrison, and thank all of you for your responses. Next question.
By now, I hope that you all have evaluated the various neighborhoods within District 2 and spoken to some of its residents in an effort to see and hear what the issues are and what needs to be done. Some of you have already alluded to this question to a degree, but I just want to ask us to hear from everybody. My question to all of you is, using the SMART system, and I will define that for you: specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and a timeline for you to complete it. Please give us, each one of you, please give us 2 things that you plan to accomplish in the Turpin Hill area using the system stated. And I apologize, I didn't tell you who I am. I'm Reverend Lamont Monroe, and I'm the Vice President of the Turpin Hill Association #1. Thank you.
Very good question, Reverend. Who would like to go first? Ponce?
Hi, again, I'm Vine. One of the things that I would like to get done immediately is the sense of community and fellowship and gathering. I'm sorry, I just feel that as a culture, we've gotten away from the fact that it does take a village and that we need to fellowship and come together, share ideas, support one another, and reach back and help. So I plan to do that immediately, as in the election is May 24th, May 25th. I'm trying to decide when we're going to have our first meeting again. Part of the problem that I see is our division. It's not that we're working against one another, we're just not working together. And for any district to be successful with any initiative, I think that needs to be immediately done. So the timeline for that would be within the first week of my having been elected. The other thing that I would like to immediately do, and again, I hate to make everything about the fact that we need to focus on our future, but we do. So the other thing I'd like to immediately work on again is that collaboration with the Board of Education as it relates to creating that synergy that we need to make sure that we're taking care of our future. And yes, we also need to work on economic development more so than business development. I have no issue with people coming in. I just want to make sure we take care of those of us that have never left. So I plan to work on that within the first year.
Thank you, Ms. Ponce.
Yes, to answer the question, I have walked several neighborhoods, including Turpin Hills and Grand Boulevard area, and knocked on doors. My main complaints from the citizen that I have spoken with is the infrastructure, as far as the roadway need repairing, potholes, water line replacement. The water lines are bursting and causing road cave in. We're having that a lot in the District 2 area and several areas, like one just happened on Walton Drive about a couple of weeks ago, that the road caved in, and replacing other drainage lines. The drainage is not being vacuumed like they should be, and the streets are not being cleaned, so it's, clogging up the lines and causing pressure, and that's what makes the lines burst. So with that being, if that get done, I think it'll solve our problem for us with some infrastructure on the streets. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Gunther. Who's next? Okay, Ms. Pulliam.
My platform is blight, infrastructure, and transportation. And in Turpin Hill, we see a lot of blight. Blight is when it's yards that are overgrown, houses that are dilapidated, they look like no one's living there. Making sure that there's already a blight ordinance in place. They are, in fact, working on that blight ordinance. If it is not completed by the time I get in office, being a part of that and making sure that we apply pressure to those homeowners that no longer live in the area, they may be in New York, New Jersey, San Francisco, wherever they may be, making sure that a certain amount of pressure is applied to them so that these homes can be taken care of. The infrastructure that you hear so many of us so passionately speaking of, that is definitely a problem. There's flooding all in our area, but it's because it's an older area. So making sure, even as Dr. Malik is working on things and engineering, making sure that we play an intricate part of that. When you see something is wrong, you have to report it immediately. Send emails. Don't just call 311. Send emails. Get petitions signed. There is power in numbers, and I can't do it alone. That's why I say I need you to be my heroes, because I can't do it alone. I need help from everyone, but that's what I would do.
Okay, who would like to go next? Mr. Cruz?
All right, as I was speaking about the palm trees and the sidewalks and the bus shelters and things of that nature, of course, that's what I would do. But my thing is to learn this government, dissect each of these policies that do exist, and challenge those that don't even have nothing to do with our community, that doesn't help our community. I want to just dissect those things. I'm good at researching, I'm good at really finding out what's the law that help us to fight against what's against us. So I'm pretty good at that. So my thing is to dissect these policies, and like I said, and beautify our area, man. It don't take much to do that. We can do it ourselves. I crank up a couple of lawnmowers and all us get together and we can do it ourselves. But I want to definitely find out where that money going, because there's a lot of money, like everybody was saying, is missing out of District 2. And from joining, getting ready to join the home association here off of Turpin Hill, I've learned that there's a historical preservation area right here on the corner of Turpin Hill and Grand Boulevard, where the school was. That school was a place where black soldiers was trained for the Spanish War. There's a historical preservation act and grant money to help beautify our community. Let's make it happen. I put that pressure on them, I promise.
Mr. Garrison?
One thing I've observed since riding around, my business take me all over Augusta, all over wherever, I'm everywhere. But when I come back home to District 2, I found out our roads are not as sufficient to travel on the roads in other areas of our city. I think what we need to do is work faithfully and work with other commissioners, because, I'm only one vote. And we got to learn how to work with other people in order to make this happen. I think, and then one thing I know, when I get home at night, I get phone calls from little old ladies in the street and telling me about they don't know how to they having problems getting in their house because they don't have a street light. But when they look at their taxes, they're paying for street lights. I think we need to come together with our other commissioners and make sure that we getting what we paid for. And that's not only for Turpin Hill, that's for all the city of Augusta, especially the elderly that I represent very, very much.
Mr. Cummings?
Yes, ma'am. This past Friday, both of the transit buses for Gordon Highway was broke down. And folks who needed to get back and forth couldn't do it. They're spending money on electric buses, but who needs an electric bus when the buses that transport the people who need to get to work and to wherever they need to go, they're not working. We gotta get on the ground where the people are and solve that problem. When it comes to shelters, like Ray said, we bought a bunch of shelters and stacked them over there on Highway 25 or 56, one of them out there on a big old pasture, and just spent that money and then said, hey, we're not gonna use them. We got, and then you got the disabled can't roll their wheelchair up to sit down and wait on the bus. We gotta have better priorities with our funds and our people.
Thank you, Mr. Cummings. If you all don't mind, I would like to inject one of my burning personal questions. Having served this community for the last 40 years as an editor and publisher and moderating the forums, I'm a little sensitive about certain things. When we get a host of candidates, they talk about blight and infrastructure and poor transit and bad streets and bad roads and food deserts and better jobs and more recreational facilities and what have you. But my concern is this: 4 years down the road, at the next forum, what are we talking about? So what I want to ask our 6 candidates here tonight, with all of that said, how do you feel about the things that have not taken place? Because we have these forums every year. Every year. We have candidates saying all of the right things. And guess what? Still no transit, no better transit. Especially in low-income communities, services that serve the least of those in our community are still lacking. Yeah. So for me personally, because I'm a voter too.
Absolutely.
I might be a moderator, but I'm a voter also. Yeah. I want to know how you all feel about this and what can actually be done if you're elected to serve us. Dr. Ponce?
I feel like everybody feels, when I'm canvassing and someone says to me, you're only saying these things, you're only coming around because you want my vote, it's hard for me to speak against that because it's a double-edged sword. Yes, you are used to us courting you when we want your support. But then if I don't come before you and ask for your support, I don't have a chance to get it. So I feel like everyone else does. I feel like we go through this every 4 years and promises are made and then the same thing happens, which is why I'm not talking to you about blight today. I'm not talking to you about infrastructure today. I'm talking to you about you. And I'm talking to you about your children. I'm talking to you about making sure that I represent your voice. So what will we be doing in the next 4 years if I'm the person you elect to be your commissioner? Talking about whatever it is that you think we need, and that's what we've gotten away from as the job of commissioner. You elect me to represent you. The district is very diverse. There is no one-size-fits-all solution for what we need. I need to be accessible, available, and I don't need to be afraid to stand up for you and represent what it is that you say that you need.
Thank you, Dr. Ponce. Reverend Garrison.
For the last 8 years, I've been crying, calling people and trying to get it set up with our commissioner so we can have a town hall meeting so we can get the voice of the people out there. We hired them to represent us, we hired them to speak for us, but we never got that. I think you all, I was here before talking the same old talk, but never anything happened. So what I believe, once I am elected as your district commissioner, I believe we should set up some type of town hall meeting so we can get the feel of the people, because if I don't get the feel of the people don't respond, then I'm just a voice out there crying in the wilderness with no help. In order for this to work, we're gonna have to work together and make it work. I'll be your commissioner. I'll work faithfully because I have you at my heart. I will work continuously for you without failure. When you call me, I will be there. And I think you don't have to think about it. I think you already know that.
Thank you, Reverend Garrison. Next. Mr. Cummings? We'll just keep going straight across, okay?
Okay. I think that, well, first of all, I've never been the commissioner, so I never had a chance to prove what I could do from that particular seat. But I think that when I look around at this audience today, we should have a whole lot more people in here. And we should have a whole lot more interest. And when I become commissioner, I'm gonna need a lot more support than what I see in this room. Because at the end of the day, what the commissioner is your talking head. And when we have an issue or a problem or a concern, then we collectively have to come together and talk about it. And whatever you say as a group is what I need to go and vote on at the meeting. But it starts with the community and it ends with the commissioner.
Thank you, Mr. Cummings.
Well, what I'll do. See how quiet it is? See how loud my voice is? For the last 20 years, I've been the voice of the people here in this city. I've been risking my life. When we did the George Floyd March, I was the first one they called. I had over 4,000 people out there. Over 4,000 people out there in the streets on Reynolds Street. When they called again, I was on Washington Road. I'm the voice of the people. When there's murders in this city, I'm the first one to call. Not only the people call me, the sheriff called me, the mayor called me, everybody called me. I'm the voice of the people. So if y'all want something done in this city, you can guarantee you Ray Montana gonna make some noise and make it happen. But we got to come together collectively. We got to take action, we got to be assertive, and we got to be affirmative about what we're standing for. Yeah, they overlooked us for a long time, but one side of District 2 can't be no better than the next side of District 2. Even when they took the lines at. But I'm gonna tell y'all one thing I can solve in District 2, and I want this commissioner right here to take it back to that bridge on Olive Road. In Savannah, guess what we did with the bridges that was kept hitting cars on them? We took the road down. Take the road down. We ain't got to take the trail up. Just dig down in the road so the cars will come back up on the other side. When I be y'all commissioner, that's gonna be one of the biggest infrastructures that's be made around here. Is that bridge.
Thank you, Mr. Crowe. Ms. Pulliam?
So for me, I talked about blight, I talked about infrastructure, and I talked about transportation. I talked about those things because I went out into the neighborhoods. I know for sure there's 4 people that are not here tonight because they didn't have transportation. They didn't have a way to get here. So I sent out messages asking, will this be recorded? Is this something I can go back and let them know you can watch this? I talked about blight because as I went out, people complained about the homes that were torn up next to their house. They complained about what the neighborhood looked like. I talked about infrastructure because as I talked to, I'm gonna even say Mr. Ozzie, and how he discussed the flooding and what was going on. I am a voice for the people. I talk about the things I talk about because they're the things that are brought to my attention. I go out and I research, how do we make this better? What can be done? So even as far as the speeding is concerned, when that issue was brought to me yesterday, immediately I made some phone calls. There's something called Call Me, and they can actually put these tracking devices out to see what the speed is up and down those streets. To see if I can go out, let you all know, hey, this is what it is. Let's send out these petitions, that time is up. Send out these petitions and get something done about it. I want to be your voice. I want to do the research for you.
Thank you, Ms. Pulliam. Don?
Like I said, as I have walked through the neighborhood, knocking on doors, I have several questions. I had Reedy Simall come back up, and like I tell them, the city of Augusta do not own Reedy Simall. And why they don't, we talk, city owns Reedy Simall. No, the city does not own Reedy Simall. It's privately owned by somebody in New York. Okay, and they said, well, why we can't go to one? The city don't own it. So the commissioners need to do this or that. I said, once I'm elected, we come up with a solution to try to solve that problem. To get, maybe buy the property from the owner, or, something like that. But I think we need to come up with a coalition, community coalition with a diverse of people to come up with solutions. By the time 4 years roll around again, we won't be talking about the same thing. Thank you.
Okay, we're gonna take another question from the floor. Reverend Fryer.
Good evening. There is something I think we need to make sure we look at. There are commissioners who serve. But there is an issue when you're talking about becoming a commissioner. There are the powers that be, the people who control this city and who has money, who makes decisions, and they want you to follow what they say. And this has been going on for years. And we know it has. And I heard someone kind of speak to you. Will you be able to make the changes, because you will only have one vote, will you be able to make the changes necessary to stand against the powers that be when you are in that seat? Because I am assuring you that there are money talks, and I'm not saying anything about any of you all. I'm saying, what would you do to stop that so that you can get the things done that need to be done?
This time we're gonna start from this end, Mr. Hunter. What can you do?
Well, thanks for the question. I would hope that's not a problem on the commission. I'm not having did an investigation or research on it, so I'm hoping that's not a problem. And but if I elect a commissioner, that would be not one of the things I would do, accept any bribe or money from anyone. So,
Let me correct that. I don't mean that way. I'm just saying those persons are in power. What will you do to fight against that so that you can get done what needs to be done? That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying like I'm going to deceive you.
Can I add to that, Reverend Fryer? Because as a publisher here, I know exactly what you're talking about. For those folks who want to intimidate you all, they say everybody can be bought, but no, actually they can't. That's what we're talking about. Will you be able to deal with that kind of pressure? And then not only that, you have other black folks who go along with the powers that be. Will you be able to handle these folks?
yes, ma'am. I feel that I'm a strong-minded person. I'm a grown man. I make my own decisions, and I believe if I accept a bribe or bow down to those people that are trying to pressure me into do something that I don't want to do, that will be on me, whatever consequences might be.
Ms. Collier?
I go back to there's power in numbers. And so I oftentimes get asked that question, but in a different way. When people say, how will you be the voice so that everyone will come together and be on your side? Basically, how will you be able to present your information and everyone vote in your favor? I'm a person of facts. So when I present facts, it's just that. These are the facts. This is what my community needs, and this is how we need to vote. Of course, I can't control that. But also, not just power and numbers as far as the commission is concerned, power and number as far as the people are concerned. Because what we've seen is if there's enough people making enough noise, if there's enough people signing enough petitions, things don't just go away. People are gonna have to deal with it. So we've got to use our voice, we've got to raise our voice for the things that we want. When we do that and we're able to, as you said, Reverend Fryer, be influential, that's really what it is. How will you be that person of influence? I'm gonna be that person of influence because I'm gonna read, I'm gonna understand, I'm gonna come to you with the facts. I'm gonna listen to what the people want, and we're gonna use our voice. I'm not gonna say it's always gonna happen because I have no control over that.
Thank you, Ms. Pulliam. Mr. Crew?
I'm gonna tell it. I'm gonna tell on them. I'm gonna tell. Do you hear what I'm telling you? I'm tired of it too. I've been here 30 years. I've been seeing them rubbing pockets, asking certain. But before I ran, it was, I guess about 5 years ago, it was 10 preachers gathered and called me to a meeting. They were gonna place me in my own house, place me in this, and place me in that, for me to run. I ain't run. I waited another whole 5 years. I'm gonna tell it. If they come, if they hide money in there, Ray Montana gonna tell it. I ain't in it for the money. I've been there, done that. I'm in it for the people. I got a passion for the people. I risk my life daily. So when I learn these policies and dissect these policies and challenge these policies, I'm doing it for us. And when the people say something's wrong, one call, that's all. I'm like Ken Nugent, baby. I'm on it. Thank you.
Mr. Cummings. Thank you, Mr.
You know, over the years, you can reflect on decisions that were made. The stormwater fee, Splash 7, after spending money on the municipal building in the name of remodeling, but the bills not being paid, and votes need to be broken. You got 6 on each, 5 on each side, and you got to break a tie. You don't break the tie. When it comes right down to you making a decision, then at that point, your personal intestinal fortitude will be revealed. And so we have to take each situation as it comes, but you have to engage your district and your people and find out what they feel. And you take your one vote back to the table and you lay your vote down, and it speaks for itself. Now, if it passes or if it doesn't pass, it's not on you. You voted the voice of the people. That's all we can do, is vote the conscience of the people.
Reverend Garrison.
I think the question was, can you be bought? Is that right?
Yeah. Counselor, among other things.
Well, thank God I don't owe nobody nothing. And I don't think I wouldn't be able to look myself in the face every morning when I get up. My grandchildren, and especially my granddaughter, which I put a lot of faith in, and she working diligently, trying to make something out of herself. And she don't want her granddaddy to be caught doing something that's illegal or folding to something that's not right. No. If y'all want something like that, don't vote Garrison. Don't vote Garrison. But since you do want a person that's gonna stand for integrity, then I'm your man.
Thank you, Reverend Garrison. Dr. Fonsie?
So I understood your question, Reverend Fryer, to be, would we have the courage and the strength to stand up to those in this city that normally influence major decisions because of the power that they have garnered over the years? I want to be really clear about this. My answer is yes, okay? And I'm just going to take a moment there, because there's really nothing else. I don't want you all to confuse that. Now, my answer is yes, because that's been my entire life. My entire life has been suffering the consequences of having ethics and character in doing what is right. You don't grow up and out in homes and then graduate from high school, or you don't become someone that's in foster care, or someone that has made the mistake of being pregnant at the age of 19. You're on the system, you get off the system, you're working 2 jobs, you're raising 2 kids by yourself. You don't live that kind of life and then eventually get a PhD in business if you don't know how to have character and ethics and stand up against people that are always telling you what you can and cannot do. So my entire life has been about pushing back against those that want to tell me what they think is right. You will elect me. You get to tell me what's right. And I have the strength and the fortitude to stand up for that, because I've been doing that my entire life. I'm 51 years old. Thank you.
You know, at this point, you all join me in a wonderful applause. We're running out of time, so we're going to let each of you take 1 minute to have your last say about who you are, how dedicated you are, committed you are, and what you're going to do for this community. So you're going to start, this time we will go straight across. Do you mind, Dr. Fonsie, being first?
I don't mind at all. Again, I want to thank all of you for giving me this opportunity to come and be with you all and stand before you and talk. And again, you all have a very beautiful situation. It's the power of choice. I do ask that you check all of us out and you look at what we have done so that you can know what we can do. See, when you've already started a nonprofit, or when you're already in a classroom and you're managing all of these different personalities and parents, when you're a dean of a university and you have conflicting interests between infrastructure and land and how to get your commodities out there, I have spent many, many years collaborating, but also making sure that the plans I make actually get done. And if you research my background, you would know that. But the most important thing I want you to know about me is not my PhD in business. It is that I'm running for commissioner because I just want to continue what I've already been doing. I want to have another opportunity to serve my community. I would not be where I am today if it were not for my community. And I'm strongly connected to that point.
Thank you,
Thank you
Dr.
so much.
Mr. Garrison?
I want to thank all of you for coming out tonight and to sharing with us. And I want to say thanks Sister Garden for moderating this program. You know, I've been here before and I've talked the same talk. I want to be your next commissioner because I can make things happen. I can create things, I can make it happen for you. And I would like for you to vote Cleve Garrison for your next District 2 Commissioner. I guarantee you, you will not be disappointed.
Thank you, Mr. Garrison. All right. Comment?
Yes, ma'am. District 2, 14,000 registered voters. And we have 130,000 registered voters throughout Augusta, Richmond County. But in District 2, we got 14,000. Out of that 14,000 registered voters, you got 6 of us here tonight. So first of all, let's give each one of these a round of applause. We are your community leaders. And at the end of the day, whoever you elect is going to do a good job for you. I got concerns about transit. I got concerns about the shelter, our young folks, and the food deserts. And we all have a similar concern. We might put emphasis on different things, but I think you can't go wrong. My name is Charles Cummings. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Cummings.
It's been an honor. I want to thank everybody that came out. I see some young faces in the house. I really appreciate that because we are the hip hop generation and we got to get y'all to register to vote. We got to get y'all active and part of the process. And being who I am, I've been in the music industry quite a long time. So I attract a lot of young people. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna attract young people. I did time. I did 10 years in prison, y'all. I'm a product of change. So when they see me out here fighting and making noise, they be like, man, I can do that too. Yeah, I want you to do it. I want you to come out here and stand up and fight for something greater than yourself. My name is Leroy Ray Montana Crew. I was born and raised in Savannah, Georgia. I came here in 1990. When crime was real hot. Ed McIntyre came to me and said, man, you got that much power in the neighborhood, you need to do some things good and watch how much power you got. And since then, it changed my life. Once again, I want to be your next commissioner for District 2. My name is Leroy Ray Montana Crew. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Garrison.
I stand before you asking for your vote. I'm asking for your vote because I know that I have a heart for the people. I'm a small business owner. I'm a mother of 8. As I told you, I am a pastor's daughter. Why am I saying all of these things again? Because I know how to be a servant. But not only a servant, a leader. I have been a leader in so many different areas, from leading women to leading just on so many different levels, and I can't articulate the heart that I have for the people. I love people, I really do. I want to make sure that the people in my district are not displaced and overlooked. I want to be your voice, I want to be your connector. Stacey Quillen.
Thank you, Ms. Quillen.
Once again, I'd like to thank everybody for being here tonight. Thank Turkey Hill Neighborhood Association for the invite. would like to continue to be a public servant, as I was with the fire department for 30 years, and to help people out like I did on fire call or whatever. And I would like to have your vote May the 2nd, the early vote, May the 24th on the regular vote. And together, I believe we can move this city forward. Thank you.
And wrapping up tonight's forum, I want to say, I hope you all have enjoyed it as much as I have. I am so thankful for you all being here. It certainly means a lot to those of us who work and serve this community, that we show up. And then when we show up, we got to show out and talk. So thank you again, and join me again in a rousing applause for these candidates.